Hello there everybody and welcome back to Movie Squirm. Today we're going to be reviewing the 2023 film It Lives Inside, and this is directed by Vishal Dutta and stars Megan Suri. This tells the story of a young Indian American girl who, whilst trying to fit in school, is approached by a fellow student who asks for help, and when she rejects her, a demonic entity soon plagues their lives. Now, this was at the Scream Unseen, which is basically when you go and see a horror movie at the cinema that you don't know what it's going to be. So it's meant to be a surprise, even though the cinema chain likes to give clues out throughout the week there. A lot of people guessed that it was actually going to be this film. And I didn't really know anything about it, apart from the movie title, because people had guessed it, and the movie poster when I searched it. I didn't even really read the plot synopsis. I wanted to go into this one blind, because it's very rare I get to do that. And sometimes it can be a really cool thing when you come out the other end really enjoying it and feeling satisfied. So what did I think of It Lives Inside? Let's find out. First off, I really like the concept of this film, where this entity is stuck inside this small object, and whoever carries around this object is under increasing pressure to let it out. It's chomping at the bit to be released there. But what I really liked about this movie is the use of the Indian culture and how it ties into the story. It uses a lot of the mythology there, especially involving this entity that we're dealing with, and lets the viewer learn more about it as we go along before fully bringing it to full focus.
You can't see it, but it lives inside.
And there is a sense of mystery here, a sense of mystery and wonder to what is actually going on, because the story absolutely pulls you in. I was fully invested from the off. I was totally interested to what was going to happen, and I just wanted to see all this bits of pieces of information that they were feeding me come to fruition. Now, the path this movie takes really reminded me of a few films this year. The formula it uses with the Boogeyman, Talk to Me, Cobweb, where the first two acts are built up information, where it just tells you little things here and there and you're trying to guess what's going on. And I do think this movie was better than the Boogeyman, even though it borrows a lot of stuff from that, but I feel like it's more unique and fresh when compared to Talk to Me and Cobweb, because them movies really done things that I hadn't really seen too much of before with its story, and this one was the same, but this time it's using the use of Indian culture, and to my recollection, I don't think I've really seen this done before in a horror movie, so that was nice to see. And as the story builds, we obviously do have a few creepy scenes thrown in here and there. This is a horror movie, of course, that's what they do. And these were nicely long, drawn out, tension building scenes, not your typical cheap jump scares, and I can usually see when they're about to come. I know on cue when they're about to happen, but here, not so much. There was one or two, but most of the time, it kind of surprised me. I wouldn't say they were emphatic jump scenes or anything special, but they were done well, I thought, with the use of shadows and stuff. However, the best thing about them was the eerie music scores we hear. The sound design here was awesome, and it just made the hairs stand up on the back of your neck. So, yeah, all them type of scenes that we get in the horror movies were done quite well here for the most part. I really like the colour palette used here. There's like this dark, autumnal, damp, wet feel to the movie. I mean, it's raining in a lot of scenes as well, but it just feels like there's something sinister lurking around every corner of this neighborhood, around all of these characters in the movie. You don't quite feel like anyone is safe, and I think that totally caught the atmosphere of what it was going for. And our main protagonist, Samida, was a likeable enough character. I mean, it's not one of my favourite performances of 2023 or anything like that, but she was fine in the movie. She was someone to get behind, I suppose. But she's this quiet, meek girl who's just trying to fit into the school and make new friends. But the most interesting thing character-wise about this movie was the relationship she had with her mother there, because her mother is very strict religiously. She's still very much into her faith, and I think Samida is sort of moving away from that, but her mother's putting pressure on her and stuff like that. And it just felt like there was this little bit of a conflict going on, but there was a potential story arc for both of them to sort of come together and find a resolution. And I think the movie worked well with that in its third act. And even though I did compare this to Cobweb and Talk to Me, the way it follows a similar story path, even though they are totally different stories, I'm talking about the way the movie is built. They are a level above compared to this film, and this is mainly down to the scare scenes and stuff that I was talking about. Not that they're not well done, but every time we learn something in these moments, these tension built moments, I just feel like Talk to Me and Cobweb had a well better payoff. Like, I felt like we were getting somewhere with the story every time something big happened, like a big part of the movie, like a big scene, something gave me something more about the story where I could move along and try and piece it all together. But here, it just felt more of like a little tiny driplet we're fed, and I just couldn't quite get all that put together, really. I was like, okay, so this bit might go with what it told me 30 minutes ago, but I'm not quite getting there with the story. And maybe that's my fault. Maybe I should just sit back and relax. But what I'm trying to say is this movie sort of moves at a slower pace compared to them. And the third act did feel like it went down the generic route a little bit there. After the movie coming on a little bit of a high, it just leveled out there for that last 30 minutes. And that was unfortunate because I kind of liked what I was given here. I was getting into the story and stuff, and I just thought, man, I wish this had a better payoff. But you're just kind of waiting for the movie to hit it out there, really. So yeah, nicely built tension and stuff, nicely built story. Not perfect, but nicely built to something that was a bit of an unsatisfying climax. And even though this does borrow from a lot of other horror movies in the genre, it still felt pretty fresh to me, mainly down to the mythological Indian culture. But it can't stand with the best horror movies of 2023. However, it's also better than a lot of horror movies I've seen this year as well. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give it Lives Inside a 6.5 out of 10. Not a bad little flick for horror fans, and if this is your genre, maybe you should give it a go. Okay guys, hope you all enjoyed this review. If you want more 2023 movie reviews, they will be down below in the description. What did you think of It Lives Inside? Have you not seen it? Have you got plans to go and see it? Let me know in the comments and I'll try and get back to you all, I promise. Thanks so much everyone. You all take care and I'll see you on the next video.